Hi guys, and welcome to my review of the 7th Acoustics Supernova. This is the flagship currently for 7th Acoustics. They are a brand out of Indonesia, kind of a boutique brand you could call them. Not very well known. I've known about them for about a year. Unfortunately, I never got around to be able to buy the Supernova, although that's going to change now. I did buy and I did review about a year ago the Stargazer, which is a 1+2 hybrid that they have, and honestly, the only reason why that IEM isn't more talked about is just because it's difficult to get hold of. It costs around $200, so it falls within the price of what a good quality hybrid usually costs. And I was truly impressed, and I still am truly impressed. It's a fantastically good sounding IEM. Nothing to be said. And the Supernova basically just takes that formula and adds upon it. That's all. This is putting it in a very mild and very kind of basic manner, but that's the reality. Anyway, what is the Supernova exactly? I don't have all the accessories because this is a unit that was loaned to me by my good friend Xavier, who also loaned me a few other IEMs that I've been bringing to you guys lately. And as you can see, I've got a whole bunch of gear here. And the reason why I've got all this gear is because I really have been trying to give, at least the more high quality IEMs that I've been reviewing lately. I've really been trying to give them the deserved chance to shine. So, in terms of depths, I've got the Lotto Pore Gold over here. I've got the Hebe R6 Pro 2. In terms of amps, I've got my runabout, my original runabout from Venture Electronics, running the Penon tail as the DAC for it. And let me tell you something, that DAC, that little dongle is unreal. The 43131, if I'm not mistaken, that it uses. Amazing, seriously, really good. The Cyrus is really good. I also used my NX7 and Q-Style M15, which has been for a long time my go-to combination. I just started using my runabout because that combination there, just wow. And I've also been using now lately my Prime DAC on the right hand side here with the 2RA, which is now my new reference. This is my new reference. The topping NX7 with the M15, my second one, and the runabout, my third. So these are my three reference, let's say, combinations of amp DACs. DAPs, I think, also more than covered, and I used as well my phone for some of the listening. In terms of gear, what do I have here to compare with the Supernova? I've got the Studio 4 from Soft Tears. I've got the Duno SA6 MK2, sorry, and I've got the venerable Soft Tears RSV. That's a 4BA, that's a 6BA, that's a 6BA, that's a 5BA. Excuse me. In terms of price, that's about $440, that's about $550, that's about $750 depending on exchange rate, and that's about $730, although the price has dropped now slightly. Why these four? Simple. They all have a very similar frequency response in terms of their graph, and they all have a very similar sound in terms of what it's all about being neutral, non-fatiguing, but then with different flavors of bass amount added onto the equation. And by saying what I just said, I've kind of already identified a little bit the Supernova. But anyway, just before I get into more detail, let me just go through the physical aspects of the Supernova. This is the stock cable, fantastic, works beautifully. I tried a few other cables. I tried the Gladiator silver cable. This is silver. I tried that. I tried as well the Gladiator copper cable that they have, which is a fantastic cable as well. I tried a few cables from XI and HS, the top of the line ones that they have, which I also like using. I tried the IVPIQ Palladium top of the line cable, the four types of material one. I gave it the deserved opportunity to be able to shine in every way. So, there was no, oh, I didn't use this cable, oh, I didn't try that, oh, no, I tried everything, trust me. In terms of the shell, it's a small shell. I mean, especially when you compare it to the SA6, this is minute. It's really small, fits beautifully, no issues with the fit. The quality of the construction is, flawless. I mean, these guys, they know what they're doing. It's beautifully put together, really, really nice. It's vented. The vent is over there, you can see. Okay, it's vented, identified with the serial number and everything. I mean, these guys, they know what they're doing, period. I mean, just because they're a small manufacturer, boutique, doesn't mean that they're not capable of doing things properly. They know what they're doing. And I'd never had any doubts, because when I saw the Stargazer, as I said earlier, I was blown away. So this had to be better, period. I mean, at the price that it is and everything, it just had to be better. Anyway, that's the physical aspects of the excuse me, the Supernova. On to the sound. As I said, this is about being non-fatiguing. It's about being smooth. It's about being relaxed. It's about listening to music for long periods of time. And it's about beautifully executed mids with just then the right amount of added weight in the bass and the right amount of extension in the highs. The vocals on the Supernova are the thing that absolutely just jumps to you straight away. They are flawless, male, female, really fantastic. I mean, Joanna from Sef Daliza, wow, wow, seriously, wow. Baby I Love Your Way from City, fantastic. Blackbird from Lady Blackbird is actually playing in the background now. I mean, absolutely flawless. Having said all of what I just said about the vocals, I did notice that it was somewhat, it would match better with certain sources, and not as well, but not as well is me nitpicking with other sources. For example, if I was using the Lotto, wow, seriously, wow. However, with the Hebe, and the Hebe is a good DAP, the R6 Pro 2 is a good DAP. However, with the Hebe, in the Class A operation, I didn't really think that it was showing its best. In Class AB, it was better, but still, somehow the matching of the Hebe with the Supernova wasn't as ideal as it is with the Lotto. In terms of the combinations of the separate amp decks, the best one is unquestionably the Prime with the RA2, with 2RA. Sorry, that's the best one. But having said that, there were occasions that I actually liked the organicness of the original Runabout with the Pennon tail better. So that says a lot. But the funny thing is, actually, with this combination of separate DAC amps, the performance was very equal for the most part, only slightly being edged out. Only slightly the Prime and the 2RA edged out the other two in terms of a little bit extra detail, a little bit of extra twinkly and sparkly there. That's it. Not, the difference wasn't huge. Okay. In terms of its bass, there's a little bit of a sub bass focus. It's sufficiently warm. It's sufficiently thick to complement the mids, and for the most part, I didn't. Of course, you notice that it's a BA bass, but for the most part, there were a few songs that it showed itself as a BA bass, very evidently. It came across as a very, very well executed DD bass. It has BA bass. It has the nice warmness that you usually associate with the DD, but with the quickness of a BA. and that balance was very nicely struck. So there wasn't any of that usual coldness and ultra lifelessness of the BAs, that usually is associated with BA IEMs that are not well implemented, and just kind of end up giving a bad name to BA bass as a whole. Obviously, saying this, I mean, this is by no means a bass monster or a bass heads IEM, no, but it has more than enough bass to satisfy. I mean, and even in songs like, for example, Acoustic by Billy Rafool, towards the end of the song, from minute 2 onwards, there's a section there where you feel a nice drum hit. It does it adequately. It does it more than adequately. Is it the best one of the 4? Yeah, no, it's not the best. The 2 best ones doing that part of that song, for example, are the SA6 and the RSV. The Supernova is comparable to the Studio 4 with regards to that particular song in that area, okay? And this is talking just about the bass. Holding On from Gregory Porter, fantastic. I mean, got a nice clean bass hit, nothing to be said. Again, as I was saying, it's a very well done, very well executed BA bass that is, above all, very correct in terms of its timbre and its tonality. That's the best way I can actually kind of summarize it. Mids we've talked about. Highs, perfect. Non-sibilant, non-aggressive, non-harsh. Nothing. There is absolutely nothing that I can falter in terms of the highs. I think the highs on the Supernova are definitely one of its strong points. Well, having said that, there's really no true flaw. The only true area where I would have liked a little bit more, but that's me particularly, that's my personal taste, is just a little extra bass quantity, okay? And that little extra bass quantity is, like I said, is something that I only felt necessary in a few songs. That the song from the one that I just mentioned, Acoustic, from Billy Rafool, is one of those songs. And then if I was listening to something which is a little bit more bass heavy, like let's say Black Coffee, which is a house music, yes, you will notice that a little bit more quantity would have been nice. But by no means is it lacking. Elephant from Carol Duboc, which is one of the favorite songs that I usually use, was perfectly executed. The City from John Mark as well, perfectly executed. From Dusk to Dawn from George Duke, those initial drum hits as well, more than well done, more than well, ample, suffice bass there, nothing really lacking. So this is me just nitpicking and trying to position the Supernova well, so you guys can understand. So in terms of its frequency response, there's really nothing to be said. It's well done, it's well executed, it's coherent, the drivers are perfectly matched, it's flawless. In terms of its technical aspects, again, same thing, fantastic soundstage, very good imaging, very good detail, timbre and tonality, perfect. It is truly an IEM that deserves not only its status as top of the line for 7th Acoustics, but an IEM that can easily trade blows with IEMs of the same philosophy of sound at much higher prices. Easily, no issues in that aspect. As compared then to what is here, is it better? Is it worse? Well, compared to I'll start with the Studio 4. Compared to the Studio 4, yes, ultimately it will edge out the Studio 4, especially in the way that the vocals, the smoothness of the vocals in the transition from the upper mids to highs is done. Okay, especially there. Yes, it will edge out the soft tiers, the Studio. Does it do it in a take no prisoners kind of manner? No. In terms of the bass, they are very equal. Technically, they trade blows. I would say they would trade blows. They're very equal. Then it's not there. That's the biggest difference. Obviously, there's the price difference. We're talking about $300 price difference. This is more mainstream, more easily available. This is more exclusive. You will have to be the one that decides which one you would choose. But yes, the Supernova is a better IEM than the Studio. It is. Compared then to, I'll go straight away to the other soft ears, the RSV. Compared to the RSV, is it better than the RSV? In my opinion, no. It's equal to the RSV. It loses to the RSV in terms of the bass, not so much in terms of the quality, but in terms of the quantity. The RSV has got better bass in that aspect. Mids, they evenly matched. Where the RSV loses to the Supernova is in its technical capabilities. Yes, technically this slightly edges out the RSV, but overall, and maybe this could be just I don't know, me having a soft spot for the RSV. I don't think that the RSV gets beaten outright, okay, by the Supernova. No, I think that they are very matched, very matched. They are more matched and more equal than they are than the Supernova is with the Studio. Okay, and I've heard people say that the Studio is better than the RSV, and I'll be doing that comparison as well because I've had the Studio for a while now and I still haven't tested it. I don't agree with that. I don't agree that the Studio is better than the RSV. I believe that they have things that they do better in certain specific parts, but I don't believe the Studio is a better IEM than the RSV. It surprised me, yes it did, but not better. However, if here I can choose more of a clear winner, and I can say that the Supernova is a clear winner, with regards to the RSV, no. That ultimately, yes, I guess I could say that there are more points in favor of the Supernova if I go in an objective manner, in an objective analysis. But subjectively, there's just a magic about the RSV, which just, I don't know, it's a hard one. Trust me. Compared to the Duno, the SA6 MK2. Again, I think it's not a better IEM. They have very much the same kind of tuning philosophy. The Duno has the advantage of having that bass switch, and when you actually take the bass down, you switch it off, then they become almost undistinguishable. With the bass switch on, yes, you notice that extra emphasis of the bass in the Duno, and you can easily identify it in terms of its timbre and tonality. Especially, you notice it's thicker. But they are very equal, honestly. There is, again, not much that can be distinguished between the two. Mids are fantastic. I found the highs on the Duno to be a little bit more alive than the highs there on the Supernova. But trust me when I say that the difference is minimal. It's minimal. The Duno has got one very good thing going for it, which is its price. I mean, it's $550. It's roughly $150 to $200 cheaper than the Supernova, so it makes it very competitive, highly competitive. And so if I look at it objectively, definitely the Duno is the one to go for. It's got the same sound, cheaper by $200. It's a no-brainer. Subjectively, you would probably opt, or you would go for the Supernova for the sake of having something which is unique, different, that not many people have. While the Duno SA6 will probably be an IEM that will be sold in the thousands, this will be an IEM that will be sold in the hundreds. Let's put it that way. So you have a more exclusive product in the Supernova. And that's basically it, guys. I mean, honestly, this is not so much about it's the best, it's not the best, because the truth is we are talking about 4 IEMs which are excellent. End of story. Let's be honest. Let's call things by their true name. Any one of these 4 IEMs is absolutely fantastic. they play well, they are well built, they are well accessorized. There's not much that you can falter in any of them as big major faults. And the differences that exist are minor differences as well. So, you wouldn't really go wrong by choosing any one of them. Okay? And that's it. I'll just show you now quickly the graphs and we'll wrap it up. All right, guys? Take care. Hi, guys, and welcome now to the graph section of the 7th Acoustics Supernova. And as I mentioned earlier in the beginning of the review, as you can see, they are all very, very similar. I mean, it's just the difference that happens here, or that we will notice here more, is with regards to how the bass is then handled, different levels of warmness. Otherwise, the rest is very, very, very identical. Anyway, let me just clear out these graphs here and then start introducing them one by one. Okay, this is the graph of the Supernova that I have with me. I mean, everything sits within a window of 75 to 75 to 80, 82, so 7 dBs. Excuse me. A little bit of a sub-bass focus, just to give it that little extra warmth. Beautifully, I mean, just glides beautifully into the mid bass and then into the mids. Very gentle rise into the pin again. Continues itself smooth. A little bit of a peak there, close to 8K, and then extension. I mean, flawless. Honestly, flawless. You can't really fault this. Okay. Soft Ears RSV, almost identical, as you can see. The differences that the difference that I perceived and that maybe justified me not making it an outright winner, the Supernova, or making the Supernova a winner, not an outright winner, but a winner, is that the way the bass is executed on the RSV, this hump with this early then cut off, or so, it just, I don't know, it just tonally gives the bass of the RSV a little bit extra weight that is very, very nice, and it's what seduced me from the first day I heard RSV. It just sounds like a very well executed DD. That's what it is. And then the mids, as you can see, I mean, these are identical. The differences are minimal. Okay, that's the RSV. This is the Duno SA6, the MK2, with the bass switch on. Actually, let me just quickly show you. With the bass switch on and the bass switch off, you can see it's identical, a little bit less bass compared with the Supernova with the bass switch off. As you can see, I mean, again, how close can it get? How close is that? It can't get much closer than this. So yes, when the bass switch is on, you notice that the Duno has got a little note weight and so on and so forth, but otherwise everything is exactly the same. And the other thing that I also noticed is that the Duno somehow seems to, although it doesn't graphically look like it, but it seems to have a little bit more note weight, note presence in the treble, a little bit more. Okay. And then finally the Studio 4, again, very, very similar, very kind of almost identical. The bass is not there isn't this bass difference that you see here graphically, no. What you do notice, yes, is then it's just the way that the upper mids are done here on the Supernova as opposed to the Studio 4. It just, I don't know, it just sounds nicer overall in the Supernova. Just for the sake of comparison, so that any issues, that's my RSV with my Studio 4. They are, as you can see, almost identical. A little bit more energy on the RSV, but they sound very much the same. And I prefer actually the sound of the RSV. It's got that little extra fullness in the bass here, which doesn't seem like it would be, but it does, and it just sounds a little bit more in the upper mids and in the treble a little bit more sparkly. I don't know. There's just something about the RSV there, but that's my RSV and my Studio 4. But anyway, What is important here is the Supernova. That's the Supernova. Okay, out of all the graphs of all the IEMs here, the one that comes the closest and the most equal is the Duno SA6 MK2. And you know, they sound very, very equal. That's it. There's really not much else I can say. Anyway, guys, as always, like and subscribe. Any questions you might have, please feel free to ask, and I'll do my very best to reply as quickly as possible. All right, you take care now. Bye bye.